She can go, can't go. Baby, she can go, cat, go. Go fly, baby, go, cat, go. Well, go fly, baby, go, cat, go.
What's going on? It's Big Rich, Whiskey Rambler Radio, extra hour today, and Tim and Jenna just got in the house right now. I want to introduce this band. They sent me some music. They're from Vancouver, traditional rockabilly trio, and they're called the Wheel Grinders, and that song you heard right now was called Torque Flight, Baby. If you like the music, check them out. I think they're pretty cool. Just go to the wheelgrinders.com, and you have all their info on there, or you can go onto the social media, Instagram, and check them out there at the Wheel Grinders. So we got one more song that I'm going to be playing, and it's called The Cat.
The Cat.
Yeah, so don't go nowhere. We're gonna play that right now. Vancouver Rockabilly.
The black cat was walking through a cemetery. A tombstone there made him stop. He looked to see just what it said. And this is how that tombstone read. Don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Well, don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Well, don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Well, the boys called out from the heart of the blue. Can't hold it out, what's the matter with you? Well, what was that?
Be flat, cat.
Well, don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Well, don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Well, don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Well, then came the boys from that dark back, half like a rock, half like a rat. Well, what was that? Well, don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Well, don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. Well, don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. 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 Well, that cat took off like a greasy streak. That was a midnight crazy beat. What was that?
That's all, cat.
Well, don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. 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 Well, don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone. 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 Don't dig me, daddy, I'm real gone.
All right, there you go. The Wheel Grinders, Vancouver Rockabilly, and right now we got another treat. We got another song that was sent in. It's coming all the way from Finland. They're called the Messed Up Trio. You're gonna want to check them out. They have a Facebook page, so just go to the Messed Up Trio, and you'll be able to get their info from there, or go to YouTube. Lots of YouTube videos up on there on both of the bands. Right now, this song that we're going to play by the Messed Up Trio is called It's Time. And they just sent me the full album, so next week we'll be playing some more music by them. But enjoy this one. It's called It's Time.
I'm a dog that holds up my
All right, we're back. I didn't mean to cut you off. This is Whiskey Rambler Radio.
Hangover
You
hour.
know, right now I'm stuttering because there's a lot going through my mind right now. Some events that we're working on, and it at the same time trying to give everybody the proper shine that they deserve. And right now, before I go into everything else, that was from Finland right there, the Messed Up Trio, and the song was called "It's Time." So check them out. Those are two bands, one from Vancouver, traditional rockabilly trio called the Wheel Grinders. They got a new album out. And Finland, the Messed Up Trio, and that song was called "It's Time." So check them out and give them a shout out. Let them know that you heard them on Whiskey Rambler Radio. All right, both of my co-hosts are here, getting everything ready, and you're tuned into the Whiskey Rambler Radio Show. We're here every Sunday, usually from 2 to 3 p.m., but today's special show from 1 to 3 p.m. Please call in, let us know how we're doing. Give a shout out. If you like my shiny bald head, or Tim's beard, or Jenna's nice hairdo today. Let us know. We're always up for the compliments.
We're good on constructive criticism.
Oh yeah,
So.
yeah. Well, I need it. No, I'm just playing. Okay, that number to call in is area code 888-909-1050, and it's toll free. So once again, 888-909-1050, and you're tuning in to the Whiskey Rambler Radio Show. All right, you guys want some shout outs real quick? You guys
Well,
go. Who was the guy on that keeps posting right after you post?
Oh, I'm going to give a special shout out. And we laugh about this, and it's quite funny because when we do post, there's always a special gentleman that posts right after me on those things, and it's like I feel like I really know him. And I do. I want to give a special shout out to Danny Von Hoor. He's actually a really talented artist. He puts up his pieces, but we're always like, it's back to back. It's so funny. So I really feel like I know him. Like, he's a long lost brother or something like that. So definitely a shout out to him. And I know that he'll be on the show pretty soon in some upcoming shows about some local artists. So
Right on.
So hi, Danny.
Hello, Danny.
Yeah, you want to give some shout outs for the show yesterday, the Untouchable Metalworks open house?
Well, first of all, I just want to shout out Anna, Joanne, and Pumpkin. Shout out to the Luscious Ladies. The three of us met them yesterday at the Untouchable Metalworks show. Great bunch of gals. They're a social club, pinup models, who kind of like, cherish the retro lifestyle is what they're part of their mottos. So shout out to the Luscious Ladies. And Untouchable Metalworks, so it was a good show. All the pinups, great job. And Trigger Happy Cosmetics, right? Janine.
Well, it was a really great show. What I liked is I had the privilege of judging. Well, I don't want to say judging, but I was there to be able to do the pinup contest for the little girls and little boys, and there was 4 contestants, and we had 2 boys and 2 lovely little ladies, and they did an awesome job. And I'm telling you, one in particular, she just had the mic, and she was like, I look up to my mom, and I'm confident, and she was empowering, and she's going some places, and I see a little senator in her future. And I love and one little girl, and her birthday's tomorrow, or today, actually. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And the 2 little boys were adorable. One had that Elvis greaser look going on with the leather and the boots, and way to go, Mom, for putting it together. And the other one was so cute with his dapper look. It was just the bow tie, and they had a lot of confidence, and it's not easy. And I see the women up there, and it's hot, and these kids were just dancing, and
Right.
so I loved it. So it was a big shout out to Jessique, who hosted it. I think she did really well, talking to the kids and keeping them entertained, and they just really had it together. And Janine, Trigger Happy Cosmetics, and the Sensi Vicky was out there, Dolly Dames, Gina, hello, Valerie Valentine, Sheena from Lady de Couture. God, I mean, I could just go on. The beef
Yeah.
jerky guy.
Oh man, that was good.
Man,
That was
let
really
me just
good.
tell
What
you.
was his name again? Because
It was Carnivore Candy.
Man, check him
Carnivore
out
candy,
because his stuff is really delicious. All the different flavors that he had. The carne asada one, I was really surprised
yes.
with.
Yeah.
And then he had some hot stuff that
Burnout.
was a creeper. Like you tasted it, it was kind of sweet. And then about 5 minutes later, the heat came on, and you're
Right.
like, "Oh,
It
okay,
did.
there it is."
Yes, it was just great. The food was amazing. The tacos, the sweets. I mean,
Right.
you name it was good. Untouchable Metalworks. You guys,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you
great.
so much. It really was great. And if there's anybody else, we truly
Shout
it's not
out-
that we didn't forget. We shout out definitely to
Yeah.
you guys and
Demonios.
Oh, yeah?
Demonios came out. Shout out to them and
Devil
the
Dames.
Devil Dames, Red, and the rest of the girls. Thank you guys for coming out and in the blaring heat. And it's just starting.
Just only begun.
Everybody's all it's so hot.
I know. And you know what? For me, having a swimming pool this year, this is my first time actually having one. It's been cold all year.
Right.
My daughter's been brave enough to get in there. And the actual day, I've seen everybody posting their pool pics and looking all refreshing. And
It's weird. We haven't got our invite yet, Jen. I just sit by the phone every night waiting for Jenna to invite me to go swimming.
yes, stay tuned. I will be having a house
Go
warming.
live
so,
from Jenna's house.
yes, we'll be having a housewarming very soon. So you guys are all welcome.
Right on.
Quick shout out to Connor and to Kcaa and hello. Hope you enjoyed your breakfast.
Oh yeah, and the DJs yesterday, Will Torres and Shiny Trap. So from
They
Radio
did
Core, they
did excellent job.
definitely really good job.
So thanks, Will, for coming out, showing up. You had me worried there for a minute, but you showed up like you always do. So thanks for coming out and playing the music for us, and Dolly Dames for everything that you've been doing along with Trigger Happy Cosmetics. So you guys ready to go into some more music?
Definitely.
Let's do it.
All right. We're going to go into a couple more songs. This next song is Let's Have Some Fun by the Desperados.
Ciao.
Around here like you want so tough. Well, I'm gonna give it to you, love. If you won't love it, I'll give you love. And oh, come on, little baby, I've had enough of a little life. I'll live in life. I'll live in life. Come on, little mama, we'll have some fun. Come on over here, we'll have a beer. Come on, tell me things I don't want to hear. If you wanna pop, I'll give you love. But come on, little baby, please stop the lie. I'll live in life. I'll live in life. But come on, little mama, let's have some fun. Come around here like you want some fun. Well, I'm gonna give it to you, brother. If you want my loving, I'll give you loving. Boy, come on, little baby, I've had enough of this life. I'll live in life. I'll live in life. But come on, little mama, I'll have some fun.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley.
Left the light on in the porch, lit a candle in our room. Been a long time since I seen your face and the smile that lit the rooms. Since you left me here that day, I long to hold you again someday. Till then I sit and wait in East LA. And it's a long way to East LA since you left me here that day. I can't wait to see your smile again. And if you've gone and lost your way, you'll be mine again someday. But for now I sit and wait. It's a long, long way to East LA. Days are long and nights are cold. I miss the warmth of your embrace. Will I ever hear you laugh again or see your beautiful face? Since you left me here that day, I long to hold you again someday. Till then I sit and wait in East LA. And it's a long way to East LA since you left me here that day. I can't wait to see your smile again. And if you've gone and lost your way, you'll be mine again someday. But for now I sit and wait. It's a long, long way to East LA. It's a long way to East LA since you left me here that day. I can't wait to hold you once again. And since you left our love that day, I long to hold you again someday. My love for you still strong today. When you come home to East LA. When you come home to East LA. East LA. East
Right on.
All right, welcome back. You are tuned in to KCAA Radio, Whiskey Rambler, live, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and 102.3 FM. You can tune in at kcaaradio.com so you can see us, not just hear us. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, but if you want to see us, you can. Call in. We'll welcome callers. Say hello. We're doing something a little bit different. We have the first hour. We're usually on from 2 to 3. Today we're 1 to 3. And this first hour, Big Rich decided to play some more psychobilly kind of leaning. That last song you heard was The Rockets. It's our good friend Tony. So Tony, you're going to be on the show soon. We're just waiting for a date from Tony. So text me, Tony. Let us know when the Rockets are going to come on. That was East LA by the Rockets.
Yeah, so Tony, call us, and if you do, then might take you to get that tomahawk steak that we've been talking about.
And we don't even have to go all the way to Mexicali.
Yeah, we don't have to go to Mexicali. We can go right down in Downey, too, for
We'll
that.
go to Downey for that.
And I do want to say 2 shout-outs. One is Joe Hernandez. He's in El Paso, Texas, and he said to me this morning on a Facebook post, "Good morning, I'm wanting to hear all kinds of rockabilly, psychobilly," and I said, "Tune in," and he was, he found it. So he's listening, and I appreciate it, all the way from El Paso, Texas. And another one is SoCal Nights Car Club out in San Bernardino. So a shout out to Freddie and Angelica and Allie and his wife Grizz. So thank you so much for tuning in and supporting, and you'll be seeing us out with their car show events as well. So
Absolutely.
Definitely hi to you guys, and thank you.
One more shout out. I can't forget Alma and Joe for their support at Untouchable Metalworks. They put excuse me, I got the hiccups. They put on an outstanding show, and they worked really hard. It was their 11-year anniversary. I thought it was a 10-year, but they told me it was 11. So, congrats on that landmark.
Definitely.
It's not easy surviving in this industry, any industry, really, 11 years. And then to go through, the depression and all of that, and you still come out, where you're still, working. I mean, that's a feat in itself. So congrats on your 11-year anniversary over there, and thanks for supporting Whiskey Rambler Radio.
Right. Okay, I'm going to throw one more in since we're here. I want to give a shout out to Maladjusted, Morrissey and Smith's tribute band. I had the pleasure of playing with them last night out in Riverside. They brought me up for a couple songs, play guitar. If you're into the Smiths or you're into Morrissey, these guys are awesome. They're called Maladjusted. You can check them out. Just type in Maladjusted Smith's tribute. And great guys. So what's up, Edgar, Chewy? Hello, guys. How you doing? Thanks.
And one more thing. We forgot to give a big shout out to Pinup Culture Magazine. Veronica and her husband, they drive down and they came out, and I know she was also one of the judges for the pinup contest, and they're just such an awesome couple, and they're out there taking pictures, and they do such a wonderful job. And check out their magazine. Seriously, you can get them at magcloud.com, and it's called Pinup Culture Magazine. So definitely a shout out to them as well. So thank you for coming out. That was great.
Everybody at the Nashville Boogie, I know you're having a good
I'm jealous.
time.
I'm jealous.
Right now, Jason Galas, the creator of the Nashville Boogie, is putting up videos with Giselle in them, and he's blown away. Chills up his neck, and enjoy that. I mean, you put an outstanding lineup together, bro. And have some fun. Enjoy some of that. Check out the Nashville Boogie if
I'm
can
jealous.
for next year.
I'm on some of their snaps, and I'm seeing all the fun. And I really tried to make it this year, but definitely next year we're going to have to.
Yeah, I was already talking to Jason about that, so you might see us popping up and doing some live broadcasting from the Nashville Boogie next year. So we're trying to work that out right now. But check out the website. He has a lot of stuff going on. Wine on the Rails, the actual what is it? The Muddy Roots. He does a lot of things throughout the year, and he works with a ton of bands. So get at him, and send him your music.
There you go.
We're
Wanna go to the next song?
some more
There we go.
music. All right, we're gonna go right now to a couple more songs, and
This is the
we'll be
Moonlight
back.
Howlers.
Whiskey Rambler Radio.
That's about 96. I'm a mean cool cat, I'm gonna get my fix. And a rocket to the moon, baby, let's go fast. Oh, listen, baby girl, we'll be having a blast. Oh, if you're sitting there, baby, and I'm passing by, and you turn on that cool round and say your goodbye. Oh, say goodbye, baby. That's about 99. Oh, baby, baby, I'll be doing just fine. Oh, I can see the moon, baby, let's go fast. Oh, baby girl, we'll be having a blast. Oh, yeah, you see me, baby, I'm cruising by. When you turn on that gold phone and say your goodbye. Oh, say goodbye, baby.
universe wants a fat lip.
She's an evil bitch. What an evil witch. Oh, she's a witch. Oh, she's a witch. She's an evil bitch. Sweet about free at first sight. You took my brightest day tonight. Somebody lost souls on your side. They say the devil's side is 666. But I found out it's double H. Before I get lost in your spell, I gotta send you back to hell. She's evil, so evil, primeval. The evilest bitch that the world's ever seen. She's evil, so evil, primeval. The evilest bitch that the world's ever seen. The evilest bitch that the world's ever seen. The evilest bitch that this world ever seen.
I'm blowing this joint.
All right. We're back. We're back. Whiskey Rambler Radio. We're laughing at frijoles de la olla and getting
Sounds
smacked
good.
with the spoon.
Remember the wooden spoon?
My grandma had one on the wall.
My grandma still has that. It's like all burnt
Man,
and
we-
mold and.
My grandma had the blue one with all the little white speckles on it, and man, you
Oh,
did
I
not
remember
want to
those.
mess around with that.
My grandma drilled holes in hers for velocity, so she could like whip
It
harder.
would whistle, and you would just be like, "Oh, here comes the whistle."
Yeah, there was
Yep.
the Board of
And they
Education.
always had it handy. It was like I don't know how. I remember we tried to hide it, and it was like right there still.
I'm starting to
Just
think they
quit
had
it.
multiple ones. Like they had one for the kitchen, they had one for the bathroom, they had one in the, in the bedroom.
Yeah.
You know, I strongly believe that, and there's a lot of people that are going to disagree with me that you need to discipline your kids.
Yeah, you do.
I cannot stand government or anybody else telling me that I can't do it. And that's just my opinion. Okay, disclaimer, the station has nothing to do with, my opinions or anything like this. Is just me talking. Growing up in a neighborhood, discipline was a real key to keeping me away from the gangs. You know what I mean? And it just, I don't know. Spend time with your kids and
Yeah.
And
Well,
spank
or
'em.
with that, I love it. They say discipline your children now, or unless unfortunately later down the line, don't let the
Yeah.
law enforcement discipline them.
Spare the rod,
So-
spoil the child, right?
Yep, that's what I mean,
I got the spoon.
I'm not into beating, but
Yeah.
the discipline part,
I
you
get-
gotta
Which is
talk
on
to
the
'em.
S&M now.
I would go
because
to
of
church.
the
I would go to
whips.
church with my brothers, and I'd have to sit next to my mom, and they would do something that I would get. She would pinch me on the side of my arm, and I'd be so every time at church we were like flipping coins, like who's gonna sit next to mom?
Yeah.
Just to behave. But I came out okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm old school. I believe in that.
Yeah, because our parents are old school. They came from that 1950s. You get whipped if pick your switch off the tree.
Yeah, but
kind
that's
of
the thing. We weren't abusive. It's like when something needed to
Right.
be done. You give the warning and then boom, that's it.
That's
But
it.
nowadays, I'm not knocking any parent's method. If the timeout and the counting to 1, 2, 3 works, awesome. But there ain't no 1, 2, 3
I've
in my
seen
house.
some people who do the timeout and all of that stuff, and the kids are cussing at them.
Yeah.
The kids are kicking them. That would not be going down in my house.
Oh no.
It definitely depends on the kid.
Right away
Kids.
it's like, come on, we got to go to the restroom real quick. And that's where the disciplining would happen if you were in a department store. You know what I mean?
But like you said, it's key.
Sears,
Definitely spend
Woolworths.
time with your kids. I can't address that so much, especially if you're a single, parent and you got to share your child with the father or the mother, whatever it is. When you have that time, spend the time. Don't pass them off or whatever. It's really important because you can't discipline them if you haven't been spending the time.
And it's time you're not going to get back. I mean, they're only small for a while, and the one thing that I've learned, growing up, is that the kids really do need you, and they're gonna emulate and mimic a lot of what you do. So, if your kids don't act right, maybe you should look at yourself first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That you're,
My kids are
because
definitely not
you're the one that's
perfect, but-
responsible for
Absolutely.
teaching that. It's not the teachers. Don't put that on the teachers. I cannot stand parents who put raising of their child on the school teachers. You know what I mean?
They're only limited to so much,
yeah,
and it's the
they're
first
supposed to educate
5
the
years.
kids, not discipline them or teach them. So
And time flies. My son, if whoever's been on my Facebook and been watching me post the heck out of my son right now, I'm going through the mom phase. I'm a tough mom, and I've smacked my kid, a long time ago. I was old school.
Yeah.
But he just turned 18. He's graduating. He's walking on the 31st, and he's come through a divorced parent household, but we still were the same with him.
Right.
And I'm getting ready he's already starting to leave the nest, and it's been emotional for me because it's just been like, wow, where did this time go? Before you know it, parents out there, if you have little ones, they're gonna leave. And right now I just have my little one left at home, and she's gonna be 13 soon, so you just appreciate those moments. Definitely
take the time, spend time with them, and don't be afraid to discipline them, because that is something that you do not want.
We're not
else doing.
implementing child abuse. Please
No,
don't
we're
think
not.
that. We're not saying that. We're not, this is just our thoughts and opinions. So just, what we mean.
Yep.
If you're old school, you know what we mean.
I'm zoning out. I'm just remembering all the beatings I got right now. I'm just like staring. I'm like kind of shaking. Recently, it was about 3 years ago, my dad apologized to me and said, I was kind of rough on you. I used to hit you a lot. And I said, did you hear the things that came out of my mouth? I said, if my kid said that to me, I'd whip me too. So he's like, no, I really mean it. I said, no, I do too. So.
Or you get now the grandparent influence now that I'm looking at my mom like, when I was at, they won't even touch the baby
they
now.
let it slide. Oh, it's just a kid.
And
Just
I'm
a kid.
like, I tell my daughter, I would have got.
I looked at my dad and said, who are you? I don't even know you anymore, because if this was 20 years ago or 25 years ago or whatever, been face first on the ground.
Oh, yeah. My daughter was throwing rocks one time and broke a window, and my mom gives her that lecture, and I'm like, that's it?
That's it.
Like, that's it?
You're
know
a
what
hitter,
I got?
Mom.
You're getting
Hit
off
her.
easy? Like, I was, influencing the hit. My daughter's like, thanks, Mom.
Go next door, clean it up, and ask them how they want you to work off the money for that. You're going to be cutting their lawn for about 6 months.
I was eating breakfast this morning, or I was sitting having coffee this morning, I guess you can say, like at a diner type thing, and I saw that this family had combined tables together because they were a rather large family. And as they were leaving, they separated the tables back to how they originally found it, and they pushed the chairs in, they threw their trash away, and it was the adults showing the kids. And I thought, wow, that's really great to show these kids, upstanding behaviors.
Lead by example.
Right. So you are what you put out there, right?
Yep.
And really quick on that thought, Tim, did you go to that fancy bougie coffee shop? Let me just say something. Here's my pet peeve. This is how old school I am. Maybe I'm just ghetto. I don't know. But
What do you mean you don't know?
Tim, before we head to the car show, Tim's like, "You want some coffee?" I'm like, "Yeah." If anything, I'm thinking maybe Starbucks, at the least. And Tim takes me to this fancy smancy where they have cold coffee on tap. Like, it was like 4 different kinds, and then the guy I'm like, "Well, I don't know, coffee. I just want iced coffee, I guess." And the guy's like, "Well, I got this is like earthy mellow tones if you're like with the earth."
I had a
and I have
smoking
one from
jacket
like
on and a pipe.
Ethiopia with a hint of this and that. I'm
Floral.
like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, we laughed about
Give
the
me
whole...
one with the earth. I'm native. I'll take that one. And I'm like, "Really, Tim?" I was happy with some AM, PM, or 7-Eleven coffee.
Yeah, but have you had the sugar at 7-Eleven?
I
We kept saying
know.
that.
I said, "Do they have French vanilla creamer at least?"
Nah, see, I drink my coffee black, like as it should be, right? So if you get a good steak, right? If you get like chuck roast or whatever, you got to put salt, A1, pepper, gasoline. You got to put everything else on it to make it taste like meat, right? But if you get a really good steak, you don't just put salt and pepper and that's it, right? So it's the same thing with coffee. I drink my coffee black, and the coffee I got this morning from this little diner is, there's a lot to be desired, but I believe that coffee should be black. And this place, it's called Lift Coffee. It's in Riverside. Really good, really good. But it was a little bit rich for Jenna's blood, and she teased me the whole way. And I kept my pinky up as I was drinking it, and I had a smoking jacket on and a pipe, and it was really. It was really good,
what?
actually.
Kudos to the people that went out there. I'm sorry. Like I said, if I'm gonna have something on tap, it's gonna be a beer. It's not gonna be my coffee on
That's
tap.
what I'm
just
talking
I'm
about.
just saying, you know, I'm keeping it real.
For those who know me, you know, Sunday or Saturday, I get in my 55 and I go to Lyft and I get my coffee, my bougie coffee, and I get my bougie car and I put on bougie music, and and we drive around and cruise, right? But so yeah. It's about new horizons, right? So I'm glad we shared that moment together,
All right.
Jenna.
On that note, we're going to be playing maybe one or two songs right now, and then you'll hear some commercials. But don't touch that dial. We will be right back. The second half of Whiskey Rambler Radio is coming your way. So
Yes.
The kids in coffee hour.
I froze.
And I will be leaving for a moment because we have our next guest that will be on. And for those of you, law enforcement is very important. We have the CHP Inland Division supporting us. We met them at the Bo Huff show, and we're great to have them on and to hear what exciting things that they have coming up. So I will be back myself as I go get them, and we can go into a song, I guess.
Right on.
All right.
Whiskey Rambler Radio. Don't touch that dial.
There is a rose in the devil's garden. In shadow it grows alone. Many things are dangerous now. In this garden we go home. Careful as you make your way. Some things are poison to the touch. You spent your life here in this place now. You long to run away so much. My love is a black rose. It is a black rose. Held out to you by hand of fate. Held by the hand of fate now. And as this dark romance grows, it's not from the sun, but the starlight that's so far away. From the devil's garden. The fertile soil of poison hearts, fed by tears in nighttime rain. Under Transylvanian moon grows a flower of death and pain. Death is pure, life is love. So ask yourself, what do you want? As for me, well, I want you. So pick the black rose, let its thorns cut you. My love is a black rose. It is a black rose. Held out to you by hand of fate. Held by
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
A reminder to stay in touch with NBC Radio and Westwood One for the remainder of the Stanley Cup playoffs as we bring you every game the rest of the way until a champion is crowned. Our next broadcast is going to come up tomorrow, Game 6 of the Western Conference Final between the Nashville Predators and the Anaheim Ducks. Nashville won a game on the road last night 3-1 to take a 3-2 series lead. So the Preds just a win away from their first ever Stanley Cup Final appearance. Of course, tomorrow we'll have coverage beginning at 7:45. Dave Gosher and Jim Fox will have the call, and here they are with a preview.
This is KCAA.
This is Pastor Greg from Chosen Generation Radio Show, heard right here on KCAA, 1 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. Do any of these sound familiar? Not sleeping well, waking up tired, drinking more coffee than usual, can't stay focused, craving sugary drinks and snacks, feel like you're stuck on a treadmill, having trouble managing your weight, not sick but not firing on all cylinders? Any one of these could mean that you might have a system overload, and Thyrodrenal might just be right for you. Think about it. You've probably been feeling like this for a while. Life has a way of wearing you down, and if you aren't getting the right nutrients, then physical and emotional wear and tear will take its toll. Most of us at some time or another could use some nutritional support for our adrenal and thyroid glands to bring things back in balance. Our bodies respond well to optimal nutrition to keep daily energy levels up and stress levels down. Try Thyrodrenal from Michael's Naturopathic Programs, a nourishing support formula with vitamins, minerals, and herbs to put back what life takes out. Look for Michael's on the label. We're serious about good health. Thyrodrenal is available at leading health food stores nationwide. If you don't see it on the shelf, then ask for it by name. Thyrodrenal.
For several years, KCAA has been marketing the Youngevity brand of nutritional and personal care products. Our experience with Youngevity has been 100% positive, so we are pleased to recommend them to you. Regarding nutritional supplements, we recommend Pollen Burst in the berry flavor and Tangy Tangerine 2.0 in the tablet form. For regularity issues, we recommend 3-Day Cleanse, and for personal care, we recommend Morning Hydration Cream. You can shop online for Youngevity at www.kcaateam.com, or you can order by phone by calling 800-982-3197 and tell customer support that you are part of the KCAA team. Youngevity is an American company based in San Diego. Call Youngevity at 800-982-3197 and ask about monthly auto ship that allows you to buy Youngevity products at wholesale prices. That number again, 800-982-3197.
Levels of Power. Fact or fiction? Author Mike Gilmore brings political thrillers aligned with the latest news stories direct from our nation's capital. Immigration and border security. High tension in Southeast Asia. A Supreme Court nomination. Follow Senator Randy Fisher through the halls of power as he confronts the issues that affect our everyday lives. Fast-paced political thrillers. Levels of Power. Discover more at michaelgilmore1.com or amazon.com. Get hooked today.
You loved the Cannabis Cup at the National Orange Show recently, and now it's time for another Cannabis Cup, this time in NorCal, presented by High Times, Eureka Vapor, and Gold Drop at the Sonoma County Fairgrounds. Don't miss it June 3rd and 4th in Santa Rosa, California. Your favorite magazine, High Times, taught the world to grow, and now we're giving you a live cannabis experience featuring a cannabis career fair, edibles village, rosin presses, and so much more. Sponsored by Advanced Nutrients, Boundless Vapes, Cushman Brands, The Cali Connection, The Green Doctors, Cream of the Crop, and Absolute Extracts. Tickets are on sale now with special early bird prices. Don't miss the great music artists 311, The Wailers, Fortunate Youth, Arden Park Roots, and the Tahoes. Presented by High Times. Tickets are available at CannabisCup.com. That's CannabisCup.com.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
Oh, used to sit and shout, I've been counted out. I can read the writing on the wall. You scratch me from the race, someone will take my place. You're still in there kicking, have a ball. When I started at the post, you thought I was the most. Each time you yelled, I answered your call.
finished up for winners. Walked in the winner's circle with you. And though I lost the race, I'm still a winner. 'Cause I had the joy of loving you. If you need someone to run, or really not for fun, I'll be waiting at the same old stall. Until that lucky day, I'll stand around and gaze. You're still in there kicking, have a ball. I wished I could have finished up a winner. Walked in the winner's circle with you. And though I lost the race, I'm still a winner. 'Cause I had the joy of loving you. If you need someone to run, for real and not for fun, I'll be waiting at the same old stall. Until that lucky day, I'll stand around and gaze. You're still in there kicking, have a ball. You're still in there kicking, have a ball. Have a ball. Have a ball. Have a
All right, welcome back. Whiskey Rambler Radio. You're tuned in to KCAA Radio, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and 102.3 FM. If you're not in the range, you can stream us live just by going to the internet at kcaaradio.com. And on the home screen, you'll see my big shiny bald head right there, and just click on it, and you'll be able to get all the noise from there. Or you go to the top right corner, and you can download some of the apps to your smartphone, iHeart, Ustream, and TuneIn apps. So there you go. No excuse now. And if you want to call in, you can reach us at 888-909-1050 toll free. So 888-909-1050. There you go. And our guest today is Officer Duran.
Yes.
Hello, how we doing, everyone?
All right.
Officer Duran is with the CHP Inland Empire Division, correct?
Yes, I'm the Public Information Coordinator for the Inland Division Office. Our area is the San Bernardino County and Riverside County.
Nice.
And welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So,
I just interrupted.
No,
Jenna,
it's
like I always do.
No,
this
it's
has
okay.
nothing to do
This
with
is
what
what-
you
this
came here
is-
for. But I'm curious. How does that work on the freeway, like the area you guys cover? I mean, are you guys like just tag team? You know, one goes this way and the other one goes the
No,
opposite?
well, the offices are strategically placed throughout the state of California, and different counties have different area offices that they respond to. In reality, we can go anywhere in the state, but we do have boundaries just because our radios, they only go to a certain range, and then the next area picks it up. But yeah, we're a state agency that just travels anywhere we want to in the state. We can move from one area to the other if need be. But most boundaries are set strategically by the California Highway Patrol.
Okay. I asked because I was followed a couple times, and I was like, man, this guy's been following me since San Bernardino. I'm in San Diego.
There's more than one CHP officer, you know that, right? It's not the same guy.
Well, that's what I was saying. You're like, you get just
did your back in the days pop up, a memory from back in the days?
So first off, we want to say thank you to you guys,
Yeah.
all the men and women in law enforcement, for keeping us safe. And
you guys have a hard job.
It is.
Yes.
Thank
It
you.
is.
I definitely appreciate it.
And I'm one of them that criticizes law enforcement a lot. We hold you guys at a real high standard, and sometimes unfairly. You know, a lot of people don't realize the amount of danger you guys put yourselves in on a daily basis, and you know, you have to sit back and you you have to think about it because it's one of those things that we take advantage of because it's there every day.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
And just wanted to say thank you for what you do. You know, just like the military. You know, a lot of people when they see military, they really don't think of what service they've done. You know, and police, you guys are the same way. So, I just wanted to say that.
Oh, thank you.
You know,
Thank
acknowledge that. You guys.
It's definitely appreciated, and we definitely appreciate when the community reaches out and gives us this kind of thanks. Yeah, as you mentioned, it's not the easiest job in the world, but it's a job somebody has to do.
Yeah.
And we when we sign up, we know what we're getting ourselves into, and you know, that keeping us at that high level standard is what you should do. That's what you should expect. You should expect a high level service, and the California Highway Patrol prides itself on doing that. And all law enforcement agencies, you know, we have to work together.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're put in situations that, you know, split second decisions need to be made, and we rely on our training. We have to go back to our training and you know, come forward and make the right decision. And you know, for the most part, our officers are doing the right thing and are doing good stuff out there in the community. And so, but thank you for acknowledging us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, you see it with a lot of the state of, you know, of everything going on right now in this country. You know, some of it politicized by the media, some of it rightfully so with people just angry at politicians, you know what I mean, and then directing the anger at the wrong people, like police officers. You know what I mean? And you guys are stuck in the middle, you know what I mean, trying to keep the peace and
keep everybody safe.
When everybody's heated, they don't realize that we're all on the same side. You know what I mean?
It's true. Just, it's very true.
It's the for me, I'm always the way I was taught it's hard to explain this, but I come from a family of restaurant owners, and in the restaurant business, my uncle always said, if your employees are doing something wrong, look at who trained them. Start at the top. Did they train them right? You know what I mean? Because if you're blaming them right off the bat, you really have to look at, did you do your job and train them right? You know what I mean? Because if you did, then it goes to them. Maybe they need to be retrained or whatever. But if you're starting at the bottom and saying that that's where the problem's at, most of the time you're going to be wrong. And I think in this country we need to start looking at our politicians and going, you know, the problem's with them. It's not us. But that's a whole nother story. I want to get back to why you're here, because I could start rambling on about all of that.
No. Well, what we could do is go into a song, and when we come back, most importantly, we have Memorial Day weekend coming up, and we want to pick your brain, and I know you have a lot of informative information, so we can do that. Let's go into a
couple songs. Don't go nowhere. Whiskey Rambler Radio.
Don't you know that not on a big good ride?
seems strange. Born to kiss one woman's lips, guess I'll never change. Maybe right, maybe wrong, ain't helped the way I was born. I was born to love one woman, eyes as black as coal. Born to gaze into them eyes, see her very soul. Maybe right, maybe wrong, ain't helped the way I was born. I was born to love one woman, hair of shining gold, twice as wild as lightning, a woman twice as bold. Maybe right, maybe wrong, ain't helped the way I was born. I was born to love one woman. Funny, but it's true. Born to be one woman's man, and that one woman is you. Maybe right, maybe wrong, ain't helped the way I was born. I was born to love one woman, hold her oh so tight, love her in the morning, love her in the night. Maybe right, maybe wrong, ain't helped the way I was born. I was born to love one woman till the day I die. Kiss her when she laughs, kiss her when she cries. Maybe right, maybe wrong, ain't helped the way I was born.
We can turn on. Oh, turn.
I thought you said to go ahead.
Okay, well, there is a gentleman caller, and we accidentally hung up.
My bad.
Sorry. So give us a call back, and we'll put you on the air and say hello.
Yeah.
So welcome, you guys, and like I said, we welcome Officer Duran here to our state radio station. And once again, he is CHP Inland Empire Division, and I think what is good is most importantly is Memorial Day weekend. So I think a lot of us, be it however many years we've driven or whatever, but I think that we need to be reminded, and for those new drivers, my son's 18, so barely getting his license, it's good to hear reminders and anything that you can share with us.
Yeah, definitely, especially Memorial Day weekend. A lot of 4-day weekends coming up for a lot of people, colleges, high schools, even work, just regular workers. And one thing we need to remember is if we're going to go out and party, have a good time, it's okay to do that because that's part of life. But we got to remember to be safe. Safety is the most important part of having a good time. And I always want to remind everyone, DUI isn't anything easy to go through. It costs a lot of money. If you crash, you can harm someone. Not only yourself, but you can harm an innocent family just driving home, and cause some serious devastation to them. And please remind everyone to buckle up. If you're driving on the road, you need to have your seatbelt on. Parents, I think this starts with us as kids look up to us. I think the first thing we should do when we get in these cars is to remind them, hey, safety first. Let's put our seatbelts on. I've seen it too many times on the road where I see the kids in the back playing, no seatbelts, and the parent has his seatbelt on, and he's just focused on the road. Obviously, we want you to focus on the road, but we want to remind you that these kids need to be buckled up. This year, just real quick, the car seats, new laws came into effect. If your child is under 2 years old or below 40 pounds or below 40 inches, they need to be in a car seat facing rear. Also, if your kid is under 8 years old or 4'9", he needs to be in a booster seat. Those are new laws. I know these kids are are pretty tall at 7 years old, and they're gonna fight you to put them in a booster. But it is a new law that just came out this year, so please remind.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then one of the biggest things that's happening right now is everyone's into social media. Everyone wants to stay connected. Everyone wants to notify what they're doing at that moment in time. But when you're driving, it's not the time to do it. We need to make sure we turn off our cell phones, or at least put them in the glove compartment, put them somewhere that is not within arm's reach, so you get that temptation out of your hands. Distracted driving is become probably one of the biggest leading causes of collisions. And during these collisions, you harm someone, you harm yourself. For what? Just to text, "Hey everybody, I'm driving to the store." You know, and that's the problem with social media, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, the Snapchat.
We all just we told. I'm sorry, but we looked at you at a priest. We were like with our confession. Yes, we were all guilty of this. Please forgive us. We'll say our 10 Hail Marys. But no, but in all honesty, that's what I was telling Officer Duran on break, was that Snapchat, and I was guilty of this, is that we tend to do that, and we have to think of the repercussions. And like you were saying, it's horrible. And Tim was mentioning that you could actually go on Snapchat and see how fast you're driving, and that's scary. And also too, for us that need to get somewhere, we don't, Thomas guides are like obsolete, but we have the GPS. Okay, so now what? We have the GPS there, you're driving, so you're trying to know where you're going, so you're trying to hear or what, so that's really hard. And but you have to, the safety is what we have to remember.
And it's interesting you mentioned the using the maps and the Google and all that stuff to get from place to place. But this year, in 2017, they passed a law where you can't even use your cell phone, or at least have it in your hand, to Google Map it.
So you can't use that excuse. Sorry, officer, I was looking.
And before that was the excuse. We would pull over people. We'd see them with the cell phone in the hand.
Right.
But they would say, "Oh, I was just changing the music. I wasn't on my phone. I was just looking at Google Maps. I wasn't on my phone."
Right.
Well, now there's no excuse. If we see you with it in your hand, you're gonna get a ticket. And
those light brights on that phone are lights. So those. That's what my mom said. That mom was like, "I know you were on the. I can see the light." So just just don't. It's not. Really quick, not to interrupt you. We do have a caller. If Joe, you want to put him through.
All right.
All right,
Big
caller, you're live.
El Paso, Texas. Can you hear me out there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for holding on.
Listen, I just feel that this was all God orchestrated. I was calling in to express my my first time listening to your show, the Rambler. I'd like to thank Jenna and all of you for continuing to promote rockabilly. And I just want to say, from personal experience, this is a note. I was arrested in 1999 for DUI, and I thank God that I didn't kill myself or kill someone else. It cost me $10,000 back then, and I just want to emphasize, it might be $40 or $60. If you're inebriated, catch a taxi, call Uber, put your pride aside, put the keys down. Don't get behind the wheel when you know that you're drunk. I mean, we all say, "Hey, I'm buzzed." No, you're drunk. And the repercussions for your actions can last for a long, long time, and it'll affect children, mothers, fathers, brothers, family. So think about it twice. And again, thank you guys for listening to me. I'm the first-time listener, so I'm gonna continue to stay plugged in. I'm like a technological dinosaur, so I'm still learning about Snapchat and Google and Facebook and all that good stuff. But hey, you guys keep rocking on, and for everybody out there that's drinking today, be safe. Get your buddy to give you a ride home, or catch Uber or a Lyft. Catch a taxi. You don't know whose life you're saving. Y'all be safe out there. God bless you.
Oh, really quick, where are you calling in from?
El Paso, Texas.
El Paso, Texas. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And thank you for the support and tuning in and giving us a chance. So you spread the word about us, and every week there's always something new. And today I think it's a really important show. So thank you for tuning in today and sharing your story. I know that's not easy to share that. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Y'all be safe out there. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So there you
There
have
go,
it.
See? Live from Texas.
El Paso, Texas.
All my exes live in Texas.
I got the Texas shirt. See, I wore this for you, Joe. I got a Texas shirt on right here. AtomicSwag.com, everybody.
So there's no excuse. With taxis, Ubers,
Lyft, all that.
Designated drivers. I mean, your friends. I have a lot of friends right now that take full advantage of the Ubers. You know, like they don't even drive anymore. They'll be like, we're going out. We'll meet you there, and they call Uber. And it's like, well, we don't have to worry about parking.
Yes, and for myself, I was just in Sacramento Thursday and Friday. We had meetings at the Capitol building. What we did was it was just Lyft. It was automatic. It was, I mean, I never seen so many Lyft and Uber drivers all around the Capitol, and it's so smart, and it's a couple bucks. And you'd heard it yourself. This caller said back in, 98 or 99, the fine was $10,000. So I can just imagine now. So honestly, it's... paying the $8 or whatever is way cheaper than getting that DUI and having it on your record. Yeah. Do you know how long does it stay on a record? Does it 10 years?
If you're lucky, you get caught and you get taken to jail for the night. But we all know, we've all known somebody, we've all talked to someone that we know that was involved in this DUI collision and hurt someone, and those can be some serious consequences. Serious jail time. And then if this is your second time, you can be charged with murder. So I mean, we're talking some serious consequences. And I thank Joe for calling in from a civilian point, and trying to pass the word as well that there's no excuse nowadays. Right. We have too many resources that we need to take advantage of if we're gonna go out and have a good time. First of all, before you go out, you need a pre-plan, have a game plan. If once you're there, that game plan falls apart, just remember there are taxis, there are Uber, there are Lyfts, and we need to make sure that we take advantage of these resources to get home safely and protect everyone else that's out there on the road as well.
So I have a question, Officer Duran. We're talking alcohol. So with this legalization of marijuana and stuff, what is the law enforcement doing as far as driving when impaired? Because the people are going to be driving under the influence of marijuana.
Yeah, no, and I've already personally I've gone through it where you can't arrest me for smoking some marijuana because it's legal. Well, alcohol is legal too. If you're 21, you can buy it, and marijuana, well, now you can buy it too. The thing is that once you smoke marijuana or however you ingest it, there are side effects to it, and you become impaired. And now officers are getting trained throughout the state. The California Highway Patrol are sending our officers to mini course of drug recognition to become drug recognition experts.
Wow.
And you're gonna face a DUI charge if we find you under the influence of marijuana. And these tests that we put you through, they're clues that we're looking for when we're putting you through these tests. And if an officer feels that you're under the influence, you're going to go to jail.
Yeah.
And like we talked about, I mean, it's not that they're being arbitrary or picking on you. It's for the safety of others. So we all have kids, and we drive our kids on these highways and byways and streets and stuff. And it's a very selfish act to put other people at risk. Let alone yourself, which is terrible. But to put other people at risk is really a terrible thing. So. That's why the first thing I said was thank you for keeping things safe, because those are my kids and my loved ones on the road.
Yes, and we've heard the stories and heard the horrible stories out there. So we just it's like I said, it's a good awareness, and we've all been guilty of doing stuff in the past, but sometimes reminders, and it just really puts you in your mindset, and especially your children, you're leading by example. Or think about if you don't even have a child, but if you're an uncle or a godparent or something, you're just as much, and you don't know what you're affecting on the other family as well.
Wait till you get home.
Yeah, exactly. So it is a really good yes.
All right. Well, let's go into a couple of songs, and then we'll come back right now, and we got some things we want to push out there, and then we'll
go
talk
back
some
into
more.
Officer Duran.
All right, Whiskey Rambler Radio.
I got a stack of records here, a stack of records there. I got records scattered all over everywhere, but I'm looking for one that I can't find. the one where the guitar plays so fine, 'cause that's the only song that my baby likes to hear. I looked high and low, everywhere I know, I can't find the one that my baby loves so. Oh, tell me, what am I gonna do? 'Cause that's the only song that my baby likes to hear. It goes... through the records an hour or two, and I've about decided what I've got to do. I'm gonna get me a guitar and learn to play. I'll serenade my baby night and day. Then I'll play the song that my baby likes to hear. I'll go. Here, a stack of records there. I got records scattered all over everywhere, but I'm looking for one that I can't find. The one where the guitar plays so fine, 'cause that's the only song that my baby likes to hear. It goes...
I smell a rat, baby. I smell a rat, baby. Better watch out. I smell a rat, baby. You won't tell me where you been. Whiskey running all down your chin. I smell a rat, baby. I smell a rat, baby. Better watch out. I smell a rat, baby. You came stumbling down the hall, bump your head against the wall, knock out jump and let it all. I knew you had yourself a ball. I smell a rat, baby. I smell a rat, baby. Better watch out. I smell a rat, baby. Oh. Sure knows a rat. You say you ain't been no place. Lipstick smeared all over your face. I smell a rat, baby. I smell a rat, baby. Better watch out. I smell a rat, baby. I know what you putting down on the other side of town. I smell a rat, baby. I smell a rat, baby. Better watch out. I smell a rat, baby. 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 I smell a rat, baby.
I tried talking to get through to you. I tried calling to get my message through. I tried every way that had a note, and my heart is beating Morse code. My smoke signal went up over town. I sent pigeons but you shot him down. I tried every way to communicate. Well, won't you listen to my heart before it's too late? Well, I love you, it's what I try to say. I try it different each and every day. Well, won't you listen to what my heart is beating? I love you, it keeps repeating. I advertised on the radio, I tried to reach you through a TV show. Well, even put signs up on the road, and my heart is beating Morris code. It's what I try to say, I try it different each and every day. Well, won't you listen to what my heart is beating? I love you, it keeps repeating. I advertised on the radio, I tried to reach you through a TV show. I even put signs up on the road, and my heart is beating Morris code.
We're back, Whiskey Rambler Radio. So we want to talk to Officer Duran about maybe some of the tips he can give us, because we've all been pulled over here and there, right? I was just telling him the story about one time when I was pulled over and I had my phone underneath my leg, and I had a different case on my phone, and it was shiny and metal, and the officer said, "What's under your leg?" And like a dum-dum, the first thing I do is reach, say, "Oh, this?" And I reach for it, and he's like, "Oh, no, don't reach.
It's on vibrate.
Yeah, they'll get you.
That's what we were definitely talking about, was the accountability. And Officer Duran, if you could give us some helpful points. So in this situation, if somebody, one of us or anybody of us was pulled over, what is the best protocol for a civilian to?
Well, first of all, when you get pulled over and you're on the highway, what the highway patrol most of the time asks you to do is exit the freeway and pull over to the curb. Once you pull over to the curb, I would definitely recommend rolling down some windows, just so when we walk up, we're not trying to figure out what's going on inside the car. We already have an idea because the windows are down and we have a clear vision of you. Maybe put some hands on the steering wheel, because that's always something when an officer approaches a vehicle. One of the most important things that we look for are the hands, because the hands, they're the ones that can kill you. You know, you can reach for something, or but yeah. Put some hands on the steering wheel for us. Now, when we approach, we're gonna advise you who we are, what we're doing, the reason for the stop. Now, one thing I will say, that when you get pulled over, that point in time is not the place to argue, because an argument can only lead to possibly something worse. And obviously, that you got pulled over for a reason, and most of the time, we don't want to have to explain or argue about something that we as officers saw and acted upon. The California Vehicle Code is it's pretty black and white. The law is the law, and that's what we're out there doing. Our job is to go out there and enforce the vehicle code. And so, we'll ask you for all your information. Please, if you're gonna reach in the glove box, nothing fast, no fast movements. Hey, I'm reaching in the glove compartment, my stuff's in there. I mean, it's all, just be polite to the officer, and I guarantee you the officer will be polite to you as well. And please, let's as adults, as human beings, let's be accountable for what we do.
Yes.
If we do get caught in the act, let's admit, okay, yeah, I was wrong. And if the officer writes you a citation, take the citation home. And then you can decide, hey, I want to go to court. I don't think I was doing that. You can go to court, and then you'll have your day with the judge and let him make the decision.
Right.
And also, if you do feel disrespected by an officer, as officers, we need to be held accountable as well. All right. So don't think I'm out here just telling you to be accountable for your actions. As officers, we need to be respectful, polite as well, and treat you with the utmost respect. And we're out here doing a service for the for the public, and so we want to show as much respect as possible. And so, yeah, nowadays everything's being recorded.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So officers, you know, they understand they're being recorded. We have officers that have body cameras. We have the mobile video auto recording system on the vehicles.
Right.
And so, say, hey, maybe that officer did say something wrong. Maybe it offended you. You know, you can always, contact the office that officer reports to, and let them know. And then, yeah, we'll look into it. We'll look into it. We want to make sure our officers are out there providing the best service possible.
Right.
So remember, guys, be respectful. And so you're saying the crying bit's not going to work, so no more crying, Tim, when you get pulled over. I'm just kidding.
I wanted an Academy Award for my last pullover.
A few years back, I got 3 no seatbelt tickets. And it was literally within the span of 2 weeks, and it was back to back, and I was running late. And see, where I used to live, it was about a block and a half away from the freeway. So I used to just jump in the car and then make a straight beeline right towards the freeway. And then it was the same officer. He would catch me over and over again. And by the third one, he pulled me over just laughing. He was like, he goes, "How many of these do you need before you start putting on your seatbelt?" And I'm like, man, I forgot.
And in reality, it should only take one, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
in reality, it should only take one. And actually, I shouldn't even say one. It shouldn't take any.
Yeah.
We all know people that get these tickets, and they're not cheap. You know,
No.
I personally don't have $100, $150 to just throw away for using my phone or for not wearing a seatbelt.
Right.
And then on top of that, I wouldn't want to harm someone by doing this stuff.
Well, that third one was the last one because the judge was real stern on me. He was like, "Do you want to go to jail?" I was like, "For a no seatbelt?" He was like, "Yeah, for a no seatbelt." I was like, "No," and he goes, "Start buckling up because I don't want to see you in here no more." And that was it. That's all it took. I was like, "Okay."
I was horrible on the California roll stop, like the whole. So now, like teaching my son, now I'm like, count to 3, alligator. Like I don't know.
I always feel awkward when there's a police officer at the stop sign and then you stop and it's like, well, do I count to 3 or do I just stop?
Right.
Look both
Okay,
ways
so
and then go.
there we go. So let's clear this up. Can you educate us on the proper stop?
Yeah. No. Well, first of all, we see the limit line, which is the white line before the stop sign. If there is no limit line, but there is a stop sign, you want to make sure before you get to the curb edge of the next street. But what we look for is to make sure those wheels are completely stopped. It's not about 5 seconds or 10 seconds or 3 seconds. What we look for is
complete.
If you see it, we'll pay attention to the rims. And if those rims come to a complete stop, you'll be able to notice. Now, if you see that California roll you're talking about, we might be talking.
Okay.
If I pull you over.
Complete stop.
And then
Complete stop.
One thing that's very important is not all the time when you get pulled over are you going to receive a ticket. It's always the discretion of the officer.
Right.
At least for the California Highway Patrol, it's always the discretion of the officer whether or not you're gonna receive a ticket. So
Be respectful.
be respectful
Yeah, absolutely.
whenever you do get stopped
And I do have one more question for you, too. Here's my other one. When you're at a stop sign or you come across and you see people crossing, whether it's not a crosswalk or what, I understand pedestrian does ultimately have the right of way. But when are we allowed to go? Is it, because there's that whole, they were walking halfway, let's go, or is it when the last foot is lifted off the sidewalk? So can you give us a reminder on that one as well?
Yeah, and actually it's very important to know this because when the pedestrian is crossing the road, you're supposed to wait until they make it all the way clearly across. The last foot touches the
see,
the
I was
sidewalk.
right.
Now, there is a catch to it. There's only one part where you don't have to wait. And if there's a center median. So if the roads are separated by a center median and you see that pedestrian already halfway across and you see him at the median, you can go ahead and make your turn into that road.
Right.
But that's the only case.
Okay.
And it's something that I've heard this many times before. Where when can I walk? When can I not? Base case is just wait until they get all
Be
the way across.
patient. Be patient,
Because
people.
then
If you're going to
it's
drive.
an expensive ticket, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
that.
and don't text while you're waiting.
Yeah, don't. Oh, yeah, there we go. Don't text at all when you're waiting.
You're waiting for the
Well,
person across
we
the
were
street.
joking about this yesterday, because somebody said that they got a DUI for riding their bike drunk.
Yes.
Can you get a DUI riding your bike?
Well,
The beaches, well, they're on the little, the pathway. And
yeah, I've actually had one of these before, and it was on the freeway, and
Wow.
they were drunk, and they were riding their bike. Well, it's not a full blown DUI. It's not a full blown
Okay.
DUI like you're driving a motor vehicle.
Right.
But it is a heavy fine for riding, and there are classes that are associated with it as well.
Wow.
Because you are putting yourself in danger.
Right.
I've seen bicycle collisions with pedestrians. Bicycle versus pedestrian. You think they're gonna walk away from it. No,
Right.
unfortunately they didn't walk away because that bicyclist was going pretty fast.
Right.
Wow.
And so these collisions do occur even with bicycles.
And my other question is now motorcycle riders. What is the law about the ins and out of lane? Is it illegal for them to cut lanes now or not? I mean, what is because I have a lot of motorcycle rider friends as well tuning in.
Yeah, no, motorcycle riders are it's a very how do I say it's a very very dangerous means of transportation, and these motorcyclist riders, there are some that follow the law, but there are quite a few that do not, and they drive a little too fast. They drive a little reckless. We need to hold them accountable too. They need to obey the speed limits. If they're gonna change lanes, please put on the blinkers. Move over. You can split lanes. That is still
okay.
That's still okay to be splitting lanes, but you need to do so safely. You can't have a motorcycle rider riding at 60 miles per hour in between lanes when traffic is at 30. And if I need to change lanes and you're coming at 60, guess what? That was a little unsafe on your part.
Yeah.
And we need to make sure the motorcyclists know out there to just, all we're asking is to be safe and follow the rules just like everyone else.
Right.
That's it.
And one more last one. I think it's important. As a mom, taking my daughter to school, the school bus. I've seen kids, I know that when the stop sign comes out, you're supposed to stop.
Stop, please.
And I've seen cars pass by. Can you
Oh man,
put a
this is
reminder?
actually very good you brought that up. Just on May 2nd, this month, we had a bus enforcement operation in the city of Mentone. Unincorporated city of Mentone.
Good.
And we took a school bus through the Redlands Unified School District. They let us borrow a driver and a school bus.
Oh, wow.
And I had about 5 motorcycle officers parked on various ends of the school bus. And we just activated the red lights and stop sign and to see what's going on. How come people aren't stopping?
Right.
And we wrote, I think it was about 30 tickets
Yeah.
in
Wow.
less than 2 hours.
Wow.
30 tickets in less, and those are some heavy fines.
Those ones,
Very
because of
heavy
safety
fines.
of the children, they tend to
Right.
run out
Safety
and
of the
stuff.
children.
And
I have kids, and then my youngest is special needs. He's high functioning autistic Asperger's, and he used to ride a bus. So when I see the bus, I always think of him, and I always stop.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if one of those kids is just gonna dart across the road.
Yep.
You know what I mean, or what. And I know a lot of people don't think about that because they might not have a child like that, but I do, and that's always on my mind. Is like that could be my son. You know what I mean, coming out of that bus, and he's really active, and he's a runner, and he doesn't think. You know what I mean? Before, he doesn't look before he takes off, and I'm constantly having to remind him, like, you got to look both ways.
Yeah.
And so when you see that stop sign, or when I see it,
I
automatically I stop. And
Definitely.
I mean, even if I'm running late, I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, no,
But
and-
I'll wait there.
Yeah, and
I'll
so,
be mumbling.
Real quick when you see the school buses and those red flashing lights start coming on, and you see the sign, you need to come to a complete stop.
Yeah.
And now by coming to a complete stop, it's both sides of the traffic. If you're going eastbound or westbound, both sides need to stop.
Right.
Unless there are 4 lanes of traffic, which the school bus driver wouldn't cross that
Right.
many lanes. So if there's 4 lanes of traffic, only the 2 lanes that the operator's on, those need to stop. The others can keep going.
Oh.
Or if there's a center median. If there's a
Okay.
center median in between both lanes of traffic, then if you're on the opposite side,
Right.
you can
Yeah.
continue going.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and we need to remember that we are the first line of defense for our children. As adults, as guardians, as parents, we're the first line of defense, and we need to make sure we take care of them as much as
Absolutely.
possible.
Right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely. And then I'll let you speak. Okay, here's my last one.
Oh, the
Because
last
it's a
one's
little
last
pet
one.
peeve of me. When the ambulance is flying by and you see them, you're supposed to pull over to the right side. I've seen people just not caring, just rolling with it too. Like, now I understand though, it's an emergency situation. I see cops or CHP following. Is there a ticket? I mean, what's the...
Yes, and it's a very expensive. This is
I've
an
seen it
expensive
lately.
ticket.
I know I've really seen it
Um,
lately. I thought, God, nobody's like the lack of respect now is,
Yeah, and it goes back to the mindset of everyone is in a hurry now. Everyone
Mhm.
has somewhere to go, somewhere to be, which is okay. But we need to remember there are laws in place to protect us, keep everyone safe. And when somebody's in an emergency situation, we need to make sure that ambulance, that officer gets to where they're going safely,
Right.
and with the help of the public. And now, when these sirens are going off and the lights, they're running code 3, we need to make sure we pull over to the curb, stop until we see the unit pass by. If you hear the siren, he's already too close. You need to make sure you're looking in all your mirrors of what you're going to do and move over to the right.
I think that's one of my. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
It's my biggest pet peeves when you hear, the cars or the bass music and stuff like that. There's no way you can hear an ambulance when you're bumping music like that. So I get kind of like ticked off about that. I'm like, that could be your mom in the ambulance, and here you are driving like that. Cutting off ambulances and not stopping, not yielding to the police officers, and that's a big pet peeve of mine too. And it's
Yeah.
just, and for what? So I'll have one more question, and because this is like a Q&A with you, but
I'm telling you, we love
yeah.
this. Thank you. This is really good.
I've had friends who've gotten DUIs for they've drank somewhere, and they go to try to sleep it off in the car. So let's talk about that. So
Oh, yes,
you
that's really good.
Yeah, you approach a car. They don't have the keys in the ignition. Maybe don't even have the keys, maybe in the back seat. But because they're drunk inside the car, is that a DUI?
And it depends on where they're at. Are they on the side of the road, where I've seen a lot of them do that,
Right.
and then they sit there and argue. Well, how did I get? Well, I didn't drive here. Oh, well, okay.
Flew here.
Yeah. So but now if you're in a private parking lot somewhere and you try to sleep it off, if an officer has to make contact because somebody called it in, guess what? We're gonna check on the welfare of you. We want to make sure you're not dead inside the car,
Right.
because when you're sleeping it off and you're a little intoxicated,
Right.
it's a little harder to hear. You're a little impaired.
Right.
So
Right.
we're gonna do whatever we have to do to make sure we get in the car and make sure you're okay. Now there are certain things we look for. Now, is the engine still hot? Has the engine been running?
Nice.
How did you get there? We're gonna ask all these questions.
Right.
And then if we feel that maybe you did drive, we're going to run you through some tests. And then we're going to make a decision of whether or not to arrest you for DUI.
Nice.
Now, when we go to court, that's where, the judge will make the decision based on what the officer's findings are.
Gotcha.
But not just because you're sleeping in a car will you get the DUI. There's a variance of circumstances that we all have to look at as officers, and if we feel that you were in violation of the law,
Right.
then we will act upon it.
I know that there was times where it came back from TJ and there was no drinking, but just being exhausted. You know what I mean? And then I remember pulling over somewhere in Temecula and then just parking in a parking lot and just crashing because I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to stay awake driving home. And I remember specifically being in high school and a friend of ours crashing coming back from TJ, during spring break. because he couldn't stay awake. He ended up, going off the road, and luckily nobody was hurt. But that used to, I used to be like, okay, well, I'm just gonna pull over and get some Z's real quick. And luckily, I mean, I've never had any encounters with law enforcement, but it's good to know that you guys
knock
do
on
check
wood.
those.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, and
but
yeah,
be
it's
safe,
important.
yeah.
It's important for us to check on the
Absolutely.
welfare
Yeah.
of all that are in vehicles, and if it's brought up to the attention of someone, I think it's important for us to check on.
Absolutely. I'd want you to check on me. If there's something wrong with me, if I was choking or...
Okay, I got one
and-
question
yeah.
before he's got to do the shout-outs.
Okay.
Or he's got some events he's got to plug in right now. The heat coming up, animals and babies.
Oh yes. Thank you.
Don't leave them in there.
Don't be stupid.
Oh my gosh, this one is, I can't believe it's still happening. But as I mentioned, we're the first line of defense for our children, for our animals too. In reality, because when we lock them in there, not only is it 115 degrees outside, but inside that vehicle, you add another 50 degrees, and it's not going to end good for the animal or for the baby. And it's still occurring.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's only 2 seconds to go into a store or 5 minutes. Bad things can happen. Bad things will happen.
Now, if we see that, what is the law on that? I mean, are we allowed to break a window if we see we call and we see a child or a dog? Now, because we want to break it, but then like, hey, you're gonna get arrested because you broke into that car. What is the? I mean, are we allowed to do that?
And I would say yes. That's something important. We need to make sure if we see a situation, not just depend on law enforcement
Right.
to come out.
Absolutely.
We need to help out as well.
Right.
It could take us 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending on where we're at,
Right.
to respond. Are we going to leave a child in there, to go through dehydration and heat
Right.
stroke, all that
Now,
stuff?
I mean, I know I definitely would, but I mean, I'm just saying there's people that
No.
kind of just don't want to or whatever. So like people help. So
I'll buy you a new window.
Yeah.
But I'll
Well,
save, I'll
thank
save
you
your
for
kid.
coming out, and real quick, we got to go to this.
Okay, so a quick shout out once again for what we did for the last hour to the Luscious Ladies. We met them yesterday at Untouchable Metalworks out in Colton. So hello, Luscious Ladies. Thank you for your hospitality and the meeting of the minds. Our good friend Checo and Ed Chinggis has a couple shows at the Hub. That's at 2001 West Valley Boulevard in the city of Colton. On May 27th, we have the Radar Man, the Daffies, Los Mumblers, Tres Muertos, the P-Brains, and the Syndicate playing at the Hub. And then also on June 3rd, the Black Rose Phantoms, Dead at Midnight, with DJ Handsome Devil spinning new wave, dark wave, synth wave, synth pop, and rock en español, hosted by the lovely Melissa Lovato.
And we just want to say again, thank you, Officer Drown, for coming out. We're definitely going to want you guys back on because there was not enough time. But thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
See you guys next week, Whiskey Rambler Radio.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM. For several years, KCAA has been marketing the Longevity brand of nutritional and personal